Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey. I'm your host Neil, and today we're going to be talking about the St. Louis Blues. So how will the St. Louis Blues end their season? They did make some big changes in the offseason. They really stuck to their guns with Jake Allen. They wanted to move forward with him. Brian Elliott went off to Calgary, so Jake Allen is their guy, and I'll get into him a little bit later in this episode. But for now, they're 16-5-4 at home, which is awesome, but they're 7-11-1 away, which is not good, and they've won their last 2 games. They've played 44 games and have 38 to go. They've got 124 goals for, but they've got 129 goals against, so they're a -5 right now, and that is very much unlike the St. Louis Blues in the past, I don't know, probably 7 years. St. Louis has been an offensive powerhouse. So if you've watched any of my other recent videos on teams, I've created a system where I rank each team and how they'll end their season based on who they play in the rest of the season. So it's split into 3 categories. We have winnable, games on the fence, and then losable games. And losable games, I don't mean that St. Louis is going to lose those games. I just mean that the risk is at its highest for them to lose those games. I actually got them at 18 winnable games, 11 games on the fence, and 9 losable games. So they've actually got a pretty decently, I wouldn't say easy schedule, but they've got an okay schedule compared to some of the teams I've reviewed so far. So if we do the math and change that over to percentages, that gives them a 47.3 winnable chance. That gives them a 28.9 on the fence chance and a 23.6 losable chance. So based on the rest of their season and who they play, if they keep playing how they are, it was okay, they're not doing terrible, but they're not doing amazing. If they keep playing how they are, they should have a pretty good end of the season and actually might jump up a bit in the playoff race. Unfortunately, when you compare this season to last season, they are underperforming. They, I think, got 107 points last year and had a +23 goal differential. And like I said earlier, they're at a -5 goal differential right now. And that may improve toward the end of the year. I'm sure it will, but I don't think it's going to get to +23, but we'll see. Who knows? But the main issue of the St. Louis Blues right now is, unfortunately, their goalie, Jake Allen. And I'm a big Jake Allen fan. I'm from Fredericton. He's from Fredericton. So always cheering for that guy. But unfortunately, he just has not had a good season. He's had games where he's looked amazing, but he's had more games where he's looked not amazing at all. And it's funny, I read a story today online that said that the St. Louis Blues should consider trading Jake Allen to Calgary for Brian Elliott. If you know hockey, then that's going to be funny to you, because in the offseason, Brian Elliott moved from St. Louis to Calgary and is now, was supposed to be their main goalie, but unfortunately for him, Chad Johnson has really stepped up his game in Calgary and is basically their #1 right now. So Brian Elliott is playing backup in Calgary, but he's still a starter in the NHL, and he will be soon enough because that's why Calgary got him. But I mean, Brian Elliott was with St. Louis for a very long time, so it would be pretty comical to see him get traded back to St. Louis for Jake Allen, who was his backup. Anyways, I digress. Back to the St. Louis Blues. They're 11th overall in the NHL right now, and I'm kind of complaining about them, but you know, 11th is pretty good. That's better than 2/3 of the team in the league. And they've got a pretty decent schedule ahead of them, so they should place pretty well. So with that said, that wraps it up for the St. Louis Blues. I wish them all the best for the rest of their season, and thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you come back for the next one, because like I said in the other videos, and like I'll say in this one, I'm going to be making a lot more of these. So I really appreciate it if you come back. If you're new to the channel, if this is your first video, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button. And also, I'm on social media with Post to Post, so if you've got Facebook, head on over to facebook.com/Post to Post Show, and if you're on Twitter, it's at Post to Post Show as well. So hit me up on any 2 of those platforms, and we'll have a conversation on there. Or if you want to leave a comment down below, I'll have a conversation with you there too. Thank you very much for watching again. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Adios.